Howdy, howdy there, Food Club partners. Today we're going to be talking about the best infant toddler pouches that you can buy for your youngin. Now, today we're going to start with Serenity Kids. This will be a growing list that I'm going to be adding to, starting with different brands. So right now we have Serenity Kids. The next will be either Once Upon a Child or Peter Rabbit Organics, so on and so forth. We're looking at all their options and ranking them on which ones are the most have the most nutrients and also clean ingredients. So Serenity Kids is the top pick for my family, and we started feeding this to our son when he was 6 months old as a nutritional supplement. We really loved Serenity because of its higher fat and protein content, as Serenity says on the back of their pouches, or at least most of them, is that infants and toddlers need about at least 30 grams of fat a day for proper growth. And so if you're feeding them foods, they need to be getting that 30 grams of fat, and either through a formula, breastfeeding, whatever. And so if you start introducing the foods and that's causing the milk to intake to go down, you want to make sure that you're keeping that fat content. And so that's why we really love Serenity, is because it actually has fat and protein and actual beneficial nutrients, unlike the other brands that tend to feel a little bit more like snacks just for the fun of it. With Serenity, it's a little bit more of an actual meal. So that being said, this page, as you can see, is an overview of Serenity. If you're not interested in watching a breakdown of every single option, you can see this page and be done with it. So we'll finish the outline, and then you can decide if you want to drop off after that. So Serenity Kids, their motto is made by parents for parents, because every bite counts. Blurb from their website says, we make children healthier by offering nutrient-dense foods that taste great to kids and are convenient for parents. We envision a thriving planet where children are fed, raised, and educated to be healthy, happy, creative human beings. And I will say that they do have odd options compared to other brands. They actually have meat options in the pouches. Our son never had any problems eating any of them. We always kept them rotating through different options, so that way he never got tired of one particular flavor. And we typically bought them in individual packs, so that way we kind of meal plan for a couple weeks for him on how many of the different options we wanted between veggies and meat, and then a few of the fruit options that came in other brands. So that way he was kind of getting a diversification in the pouches and different things that we were feeding him. So as you can see here, this is an average of the data that I've collected through all the pouches. When we go through the individual list, you'll be able to see those options broken out specifically, but this is an average of all the Serenity pouches going off of their personal website, Amazon, the website Vitacost, and if you were to go in-store to a natural grocers, one of those is available to you. The pricing for natural grocers was based off of our local store in Oklahoma City. The one at your branch, your location, may differ. And then below that, you can see the categories where key nutrients that we look at personally. This was all entered by hand, so technically something could be out of date or changed, so it's up to you to look at that nutrient label by yourself and confirm what you're desiring or what you want to find. So allergens, these are known allergens that were listed. So those would all be, not everything had them, but some items had coconut, so a tree nut allergen, and then there's a couple options that had salmon, so obviously a fish allergen potential there. So those got, each one of those things got 1 point if they had those things. So on average, because most of their options do not have any allergens or known allergens, there was most of them that had a score of 0. So that's why the score overall is 0.3. And then undesirables, this is just things on whether or not you are worried about. So not actually allergens, but olive oil is in every single one of those things. Olive oil is largely a pretty healthy oil. It's meant to be olives are meant to be turned into oil, so it's not that bad, but something you still want to watch for. And so therefore I wanted to at least label that existed in their products. Obviously it wouldn't make a very good pouch if it wouldn't come out, so I'm sure that's the reason why it's in there. And there's no other extra preservative besides the sealing of the product and likely the olive oil providing some type of preservative in them. So just want to let you know that's there. And then as well, a couple of options had mushrooms, and in my family that is not something really to be desired. So I know some other people would agree with that. So that's listed as an undesirable as well. And then fat was beneficial points, proteins beneficial points, carbs with fiber, and internal sugars, not added sugars, but just like the natural sugars of the items, ingredients. Those were all counted as benefits because you're talking about infant toddler foods. You want to make sure they're getting nutrients. But if there were added sugars, which none of the Serenity products have added sugars, those would have been a negative score. And actually, I was going to do a 2x multiple of if they added any, just because we want to try to keep away from the added sugars if possible. And Air Serenity did do that. So overall, going off of a base score of 90 and building off of that, Serenity's average score was 105, going off of those nutrients being added and factored into that, as well as the allergens and the desirables being factored in as well. And then you can see the best place you could go shopping for Serenity products. And overall, Natural Grocers surprised me. Their price per unit was only 88 cents on average, compared to even the subscribe and save that you can see from Serenity's own website, where you get 20% off if you subscribe and save. Their at cost per ounce was 92 cents, whereas Natural Grocers, it was 88 cents. And you can buy, like I said, you can pick and choose how many of each item you want. Now, they do offer packs, but personally, this is what we did. And looks like I would, going off of the facts and numbers, going off of our personal store in Oklahoma City, Natural Grocers, buying them by the pack tends to be the best option. But I want to provide that data for you. So there's an overview of Serenity as a whole. And if you want to stick around, I will go through each of their 28 packs and going from the lowest scores to the highest. And their lowest score scores really well at 101. So it's 11 points higher than my baseline of 90. But overall, you can see how good the company and brand Serenity is. And so that's all you wanted to know. Go out and buy Serenity at those options or others, and you can kind of see the cost comparison there, and you can kind of see the value. And subscribe and comment for other brands you might like me to do, and I will be adding those to the running list. Like I said, at the moment, Once Upon a Child will probably be the next up contender. So if you subscribe, you'll be able to see that when that releases. But without further ado, we'll go through the packs, each pouch now. Starting off at the lowest one, we have carrots. Now, I don't want to hate on carrots, but I will refer to them because this is the bottom tier, lowest score of all the pouch. And really, it's just that carrots are good, but they don't have a lot of protein in them. And it mostly is what gave them the lowest score. This is just a full-on just carrots option. And as you can see, going off the first page, we saw the average is 88 cents per ounce. And they have very consistent pricing across all of their products, for the most part. And so most of the vegetables are at this 70 cents an ounce, or about $2.45 at Natural Grocers, $2.45 individual units. The other unit price is based off of a quantity of 6. So if you go to Amazon, their website, Serenity's website, or Vitacost, it'd be for a pack of 6 would be $21.95 or so. So yeah, carrots is a score of 101, 5 fat, 1 protein, 7 carbs, 3 fiber, 4 sugars. And then let's go on to the next one, roots. So this is sweet potato, carrot, beet, and olive oil. And you can see up there the ingredients are changing with the item that it is. Still also in 101 as well. Now we're moving to 102. Now we've got some spinach now. That'll make Popeye happy here. Again, protein still only has score of 1. So therefore, that's why it's kind of lower. And actually, I did want to point out where I have the fiber and sugar. Those are actually, my personal opinion, I would like to see at least as much fiber as there are natural sugars. Not everything like that. I already made that where it's the fiber score minus the sugar score. So it's possible that if you had more sugar than fiber, it'd be a negative. So if it's 3 fiber, 4 sugar and natural sugars, that'd be a score of -1. Correct me, anybody that knows more than me, that is a bad idea. But I just kind of wanted to have a balance to make sure that the product had a lot of fiber and not just a lot of internal sugars. So I wanted something to kind of balance that potential out. And so that's why this is 102, whereas the other options like the carrots, there was an additional sugar, and that's why I got a 101. So anyways, just want to try to explain a little bit of my reasoning on the way I went about this process. So the carrot, spinach, and basil, 102, 25. We have rate 25. We have the pasture-raised turkey and rosemary at 100 score of 103, and at lower carbs than one of the lowest carbs for the meat options. So that's desirable for you. You might actually prefer this option. Like I said, I wanted something with the higher carbs because most of these are mostly just vegetables and meat. So having some higher carbs would not be that bad for an infant toddler, in my opinion. And we're not talking about crazy numbers here. And we're not talking about loading them down with, bread and stuff like that inside the pouches, obviously. So that's why I felt like it was a positive that it had those carbs. So 24, we get them in the first of their explore the world options. You might view these as undesirable because of the added spices that are in them. So that's just kind of an option for you and your child, depending on how picky they are. That's why the reason why it has those undesirables, and it also has the. I didn't actually list those as an undesirable, having the extra spices, but this has 2 undesirables because it has olive oil and also mushroom in it. So again, just something to keep in mind if that is something that bothers you. But we go up to a carb score of 8, and we've got a score of 103. And those options like this, explore the world options, are really nice because it helps give them extra taste to build their taste buds and what they might like, and also keeps it and mixes it up so that we don't get tired of having the same old. Okay. So we have the coconut curry chicken. It's got coconut in there, if that's an allergen that you need to worry about. And also a lot of ingredients, just extra spices to see if you're concerned about those. On a score of 104, though, on this one. 22, we have, again, explore the world options. These are all kind of ranked pretty close together because they're pretty similar in their makeup. The chicken tikka masala. I think there's another one that goes up higher. Turmeric chicken. This does have bone broth. They have a handful of those that have bone broth. So obviously get those added nutrients in those options if that's something that might interest you. I thought about giving that a +1 score just in the simple fact that it had it, but I had not decided to just leave it as it is and let that be up to you. If you value that higher, and then you can boost it higher than 104 if you want. And then go to top 20. Starting the top 21, we have beef pot roast. Again, this has bone broth, but it does have shiitake mushrooms in it as one of the ingredients. So that's something you can be mindful of. But we have a protein score of 6, which makes it really nice. The grass-fed bison, we'll go back to simpler options. It's just squash, bison, water, organic, spinach. That's all the ingredients are always organic. Spinach and olive oil. So really simple option here. 5 fat, 5 protein, 5 carbs, 2 fiber, 2 sugar. So really nice option. And you can see from the carrots and like the roots, vegetables, those are a unit price, ounce price of 70 cents. Then their meat options are mostly at ounce price per ounce of 94 cents. And they're pretty consistent because of that pricing. Just a few options are a little bit more expensive because they're just a little bit more to them, but they're pretty few and far between. Organic squashes. So this is a vegetable that ranks higher than some of the carrot and roots. You can get a 101, 102. So that's just something to be mindful of. While being a cheaper option, you got to get a little bit more nutritional density out of these. Salmon. So you got to worry about the fish. You could obviously not choose this option, but pretty solid option, and get 7 carbs out of it. And again, it's at that same price as the bison at $3.29 unit price or 94 cents an ounce. Chicken and thyme, and you got the time to add that little bit more flavor than just plain chicken. Ranked at a 105. It's really nice that they have all these options. When we were buying them for our son, we mostly just had the kind of the more bland options. It's nice that they have the thyme, the rosemary, and as well as explore the world options to kind of give more flavors. Here we got butternut squash and spinach at 105. Again, cheaper because it's only vegetables. Also have a good nutritional value. These are interesting. They do have some dairy-free smoothie options, and these also come with grass-fed bovine collagen. So now they didn't have them at all at natural grocers that I could tell. So you would have to buy those online. So you can see the pricing there. Still pretty average. The price per unit was 114. So if you wanted the best bang for your buck, you'd buy them off of Serenity's website. Just subscribe and save. It's a pretty good option. They do all contain coconut though, but they do have that collagen in there. The next one is also one of those dairy-free smoothies. Again, just different flavor. And then we get beef and ginger. I like the fact that this is working in the ginger, so it's not just plain beef. As the ginger has more flavor. I'm a ginger beer kind of guy, so might actually buy one of these to try myself. Beef kebab. Now this is one of the highest Explore the World ones. I had a score of 106, and just a pretty good option here with those extra flavors. That shouldn't be too crazy to help introduce some more flavors to your children. So starting the top 10 list, we have sweet potato and parsnip at a score of 106 at the top 10, and maybe ranked higher considering cheaper option to buy, especially if you are somebody that has children going on more of a vegan diet or vegetarian diet. Beef chimichurri to 106. Still, this is affordable as the other meat options. This does, though, they have a few of these that is more of a 7+ months recommendation. You can make that judgment call for your children, but just from some of the ingredients, they kind of recommend more than 7+ months. So that way you're not starting them with beef chimichurri. You can start learning more like with regular beef and the vegetables and work up. Number 9. Number 8, we have organic sweet potato and spinach. Again, I like the fact that we got some heavy hitters here in the top 10 that are the cheaper options, so that way you can work those in and not hopefully break the bank, depending on how many you buy. Chicken Mexican stew. Now, this one I thought about adding a point down for, just because it does have chipotle chili powder, cumin, jalapeno powder. Now, I'm sure that's not very strong in there. Technically, it is there. So again, just depending on how sensitive your children are. But it's good to bring these into their diet, so that way they're not they're getting an introduction to them in small doses. And hopefully that means they're good eaters when they really take on more normal food when they get older. So I think it's awesome that they have these flavors in there, so that way they have a robust taste bud profile when they're older. Number 6, we have, I was surprised this ranked so high, but this is actually an option. I'm not sure if it is going to stick around or not, but at the moment you can still buy it off the Vita cost. No, on discount, so probably because it's going away. and their website didn't suggest that I saw that it was going away, but you can buy it off their website. So it's pumpkin spice, dairy-free option. And I don't think it's seasonal because I'm filming this in October, and it's already saying that it's not available everywhere. And obviously, if it was a seasonal option, it would be around at least in October. So I don't know if it's going to stick around or not. But if you can find it, it's ranked number 6, so pretty high up there as a score of 107. Number 5, sweet potato spice, medium protein, dairy-free still. Again, we still got that collagen powder in there. Got a score of 107, so doing really well on the price. And it's still pretty average to what the other meat options are. Number 4, free-range chicken. So again, these are a little bit more simple. And the top 5 are kind of the main staples that you'll find everywhere. You should even be able to find them off of Walmart, but they only handle a few options. But again, it's more of these simple ones like this chicken option. I believe you should be able to find at your local Walmart. So it's for $3.29 per unit price, 94 cents an ounce. Get 5 fat, 5 protein, 8 carbs, 3 fiber, 3 sugar. With an overall score of 107. Number 3, we have grass-fed beef. Who doesn't love some beef? So we got a score of 108, and this has 10 carbs in it, which so it's really going to be a little bit more filling than some of the other options. And as well, I mean, I'm not even factoring in the nutrients that you might get out of this, like more iron. So it's 1 milligram. I'm just curious for myself. Okay, the chicken is about the same. Well, you obviously can look at the actual product over there on the left, pause it, and you can see kind of more the extra vitamins and everything that are in the product. That's number 3. Number 2, we have free-range turkey. Again, not the crazy options. These are more the options that you're going to be able to find anywhere pretty easily that sells Serenity. With a score of 108. And then number 1, we have turkey bolognese. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. So I think this is a pretty interesting option as well. It's going 109, and it has the bone broth in it for added nutrients as well. So, and some more flavors to, again, keep your children kind of build their flavor profile there. But this one is a little bit more expensive than some of the other options at $3.69 per unit price, 105 per ounce. So not necessarily more expensive, but is a little bit more expensive, but you get a little bit more out of the pouch than you do with some of the other options. So I think this is a pretty interesting option. Hit number 1 at the highest score of 109, again going up with 90 baseline, so that was 19 nutritional points that it went up through the process. So that's an overview again of all of Serenity's meal pouches that they have at the moment as in October 2024, and I believe they're going to keep all these except for maybe the pumpkin spice, and hopefully they'll add some more options as we go on. But again, a very good option. You can find it pretty much anywhere, specifically these 4 locations. Natural Grocers, though, seems like the best place you can go if you have one nearby within driving distance, especially to go get just a handful. Make sure your kids will actually eat them before you invest $20 or more in a pack, and then you're left having to eat them. But we know the nutrition's there, so it shouldn't be that bad for you to have to eat. Might be good for a snack at work. But anyways, that's all I got for y'all today. Again, subscribe and comment which options you might want to see, and we will see y'all on the next video.